Hello everybody, my name is Vinicius Garmets. I am a product designer and architect of Maximo in IBM, and today we are going to talk a little bit about the new Maximo inspection capabilities that is available with our latest 7608 release. So before we start, let me really set up the stage about what is exactly inspections. So every customer that we talk have some regulations or some checklists that they perform in order to make sure that things are according to standard, things are operating properly, things are safe. Those kind of checklists is what we are calling inspections today. And it's usually professional inspectors that execute these as part of their activities. They can be simply a maintenance worker that will collect that inspection result as part of his daily activities, or also operators that, for example, are going to check things prior to start their shift in order to make sure that everything is working properly and safe. So what exactly is the process behind these inspections? Not just a matter to go there and check for something. Everything has to be prepared in order to have an accurate information on the inspection results that you are collecting. So usually everything starts with planning. What is exactly the information that I'm going to collect in the field? What is really the expected results for that? Because looking for something that I know, probably I would know what is correct and what is not. More than that, how often do I need that information in order to create my baseline history with information and be able really to compare and have insights over time? Later then, I'm going really to execute this inspection, where my inspector is simply going to the field, collecting that result, and bringing that information back to the office. So later someone, or even the same persona, is going to review those results and maybe compare, do some analytics on top of those, and determine if actions are needed. Some cases, depending on the inspection results, they will launch corrective work or additional inspection, or maybe refurbish or replacement. So this is really how things work from an inspection perspective. And with the 7608 release, we are basically concentrating in the two main areas, the planning and the execution of the inspection. We are not really providing as this moment any analytics capabilities or additional actions, which is something that we have plans for a future release. What are exactly the use cases that we got from customers and stakeholders that do inspections? So usually they have scheduled inspections, and they have simply findings that they want to report using an inspection form. Opening that in two areas, sometimes they will need a work order, and in this case, work order is going to work as a vehicle for us to schedule the inspection, to track costs, to do assignment, and have the inspection result as an activity of the overall work. But in some cases, we are also going to have inspections that doesn't need properly that kind of tracking in that level of detail. They simply want to have a backlog of painting inspections that someone is going to go there, will pick up any inspections and simply report the result. And more than that, if the inspection wasn't really planned, but I want to report something, I can select a particular asset or location and report that. Once again, for this first drop, the only scenario that we are addressing with inspections is the scenario number 3. The other ones we are targeting for a future release. So before I start really doing a live demo of what we have in terms of inspections, let me quickly go through what is going to be the flow that I will be using to demonstrate these inspection capabilities. So we basically have two personas. Theodore, which is the inspector supervisor, who is in charge of defining what is going to be the inspection that will happen in the field, what is exactly the results that I'm expecting out of that inspection. We also have Alvin, who is the inspector persona, who is in charge of taking this form and going to the fields to collect these results. In the end, the result is really available, so even Theodore or Alvin can take a look on the results based on the completed inspections. So let's do a live demo of what we've built so far for inspection. And for this demonstration, I'm going to use this form as an example. Just some general information. This form came from a customer. And what we'll be creating as part of the demo data is this section here. So as you can see in this form, I have the same inspection being performed multiple times and just reporting results. But we are going simply to create this first group of information here in order to demonstrate the capabilities that we have. So let's log in Maximo and see how this form is going to look like. So my persona is Theodore, who is in charge of defining this inspection form. He's going to create a form. And the name of this form is going to be Safety Program Equipment Inspection Form. Okay. With every form, it also has the capability of adding instructions. So I'm going to change a little bit the descriptions here because it requires initials and dates, and part of this information is really collected behind the scenes. So let me change this a little bit to perform the inspection on every shift, respond with okay or not okay, and list any pertinent details in the notes section below. So this is going to be the instructions for my inspection form. After that, we will need to create the items that we are going to check during this inspection. So engine oil, water, hydraulic oil are the things that we are going to check. So the first question is going to be engine oil. And as a response, I'm expecting a few options. It can be okay or not okay. Let me just put these. Okay. And this is also a required question. I can provide a description here, okay? Select one of the options below. And if I have other questions about other responses about this same question, I can also add additional responses fields to this same question. Once I click done, I have my first question created. The other ones is going to be water, hydraulic oil, and brake fluid. Instead of going over again to create another question, I can simply duplicate this and change the description. So this one is going to be water, okay? The next one is going to be hydraulic oil. And the last one is brake fluid. So let me just change these. And the last one is going to be brake fluid. If you remember the instructions, I also have another type of question that would be the notes section in the bottom. And for that, it's going to be a free text response, okay? Please list any, how it said, any concerns, any details, list any details in the notes section below. It's not really required. The inspector has the option to fill that or not. And then I'm clicking done. There is one more thing. These four questions that I have as part of this inspection form is part of the fluid levels. So if I select these first four here, I have then the ability to create a group. So the group is basically entering those four items in the same section in my inspection form, which is going to be fluid levels. If I have instructions on this particular group, I can also enter them here. If not, I'm done for this example. So I have four questions that I can also drag and drop to change the order on how they are going to be presented. It's just a matter to move them up and down, and we are good to change the order, as well as to move them inside and outside of a group if I want to really change the group content itself. Once I save my form, the form is done. The only thing that I need to do is really to activate this form. And we have a revision control in place here. So the form really starts as a draft, but once it's active, I can't really change that anymore unless I create a revision. So the revised form will become the new active version. The previous one will be as part of my historical data as revised. So let me activate this form, and then it's ready to use. Okay, so now I will be Alvin, who is the inspector persona that is going to the field to fill up these inspection responses. So Alvin is going to log in Maximo, and he will have access to a few inspections that are pending, others that might be in progress, or also the ones that are completed. In this scenario, I don't have any of them because I just created a form, so let me report what we are calling an unscheduled inspection. And this inspection is going to be for an asset. My asset in this example is the Toyota forklift. So let me select Toyota. Toyota. And then I have my Toyota forklift available as an asset in Maximo. And right now I'm going to select which form I'm going to use to perform this inspection. In this case, it's the safety inspection program. And once I select it, I have the instructions to respond to this inspection and the ability to save this as a pending inspection, so I continue it later, or really to immediately start responding to this inspection report. So here you can see I have a section that will work as an index to navigate through the things that I need to respond as part of this inspection. And then I have the options to select from. This is okay, this is not okay. And more than that, I have the ability here to filter for things that I still have to respond. So what are exactly the incomplete ones? Oh, I have the number 103, 104. And in this case, if my inspection list was bigger than this, it will focus on the answer, the question that I have to respond. But since this is a smaller one, it's all listed in the same screen. I also have quick access to the complete ones. And more than that, I can hide everything that is optional. So hiding the optionals, searching specifically about what is incomplete, I have a quick access to the things that still have to be responded in order to complete this inspection. Once I respond all my required questions, the done button becomes active. And by the time I click on this done button, my inspection will be completed. So this complete this demo. And done. My inspection is completed. If I go to my complete tab and I search for the asset number or the location number or even the inspection form name itself, I can filter the results to see how it looks like. So let me search again for Toyota. And here I have the results of my inspection. With that, this completes my demo. That was really quick, but give you an overview about both capabilities that we introduced really as part of the 7608 release, which is the form builder and the ability to report unscheduled results. Later on, in a future release, we will be adding much more capabilities to allow you to plan for inspections and also tie these to the existing work processes of Maximo. Thank you very much.